Good morning. It's Saturday, November 16th. And there have been many times over the years that I have discussed the way I went to college. I did not go right to college from graduation in high school. I graduated young. I was 17 when I graduated from high school. But I wasn't ready to go to college. But we were a union family, and my parents belonged to District 65, which was a warehouse union and some other shops like that. And I was able to join the union and get a decent job making about $60 a week when most people were making $1 an hour. So I was content with that. But it took me a couple of years to realize that I wasn't really going to get any place in this world unless I really went to college. So at the age of 20, I decided to go back to college, or to start college effectively. But my grades, which were good enough when I was 17 to get into City College, were not good enough when I was 20 years old. So I had to take the entrance exam. And fortunately, I was able to pass the entrance exam by the skin of my teeth, and I entered City College. And it only took me 10 years to graduate, because of a wide variety of personal actions that I took. And one of those was to get married and have a couple of children, and so I had to work and do a lot of other things. But I finally graduated from City College. And why am I telling you all of this when many of you already know this? I'm telling you this because I'm reading something about the amount of money that colleges are getting from various sources. And apparently, a lot of the state support for colleges has gone down, and therefore tuition has gone up. So when I took a look at this listing of all of the colleges that I would be interested in, and of course, one of the colleges that I was very interested in was the City College of New York, which is called the City College of the City University of New York. And it gets 32% of its revenue from the state. And it gets only 9% of the revenue that it needs to run itself from the federal government. And it only gets 8% of the revenue that it needs from tuitions and fees. And then there's a 10-year degree of change in the amount of state support. And City College's state support has gone up by 29%. But if you look at some other schools, the state support has gone down. Now, I graduated from Baruch, the business school, because when I started, I was wanted to be a biologist, and I went uptown to City College at 145th Street in Manhattan on the west side. And the amazing thing was that it only took me one semester to recognize that I wasn't qualified to become a biologist or a geneticist, which was my goal, because I had to take chemistry. And I was sitting in that classroom and I didn't understand one thing that was going on. So I switched very quickly to the business school, to Baruch, and I ended up going there for the rest of my college career, and I got a degree in accounting, which was good. I figured I was going to make a nice living as an accountant. But you know what happened? I was 30 years old when I graduated, with a wife and 2 children. And so when I went out looking for a beginner's job in the field of accounting, they were offering me $80 a week. And I couldn't live on $80 a week at that time or at anything. I needed $100 a week. But they said, why should we hire you? You're a relatively old man. I can get these kids who are 22 years old, just graduated from college. They have no family responsibilities or anything. They'll take the $80 a week and be glad to work at this company and get themselves a CPA. So what did I do? I took some state examinations and I got a job as a state tax auditor for the grand total of $110 a week. But that was enough for me and the family to live in city housing, and we were fine. But I was very curious about what was going on in the world, and I met a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who was taking a computer course on a Saturday. And this is at a time when nobody took computer courses. Computers didn't even exist in those days. But he was taking this course on a Saturday, and it cost a couple $100 for 8 weeks of training, so to speak. And then you could try and get a job. I went there. I took the course. After 6 weeks, they told me I was good enough to get a job. So I prepared a couple of resumes and I sent them out, and I got hired by Western Electric in New Jersey for $7,500 a year. That's $150 a week. It was like I found a gold mine. And I spent the next 50 years working on computers. From the very beginning, when there were no apps or anything, when you wrote code and you had to understand the business. And I loved every minute of it. And I had a great career. I was able to raise my children and send them off to college and everything. So I would consider myself a very, very lucky person. So when I look at the way the schools are getting money now, I find that very interesting in the distribution of funds to colleges and who's paying what. But all of these colleges, these city university branches, they need this money. And in many, many cases, tuitions are very, very reasonable compared to other places. So I leave you with that little history of the college costs. And if you want, there's a big chart out there that tells you how much money is given to every school in every state, from the people who go to the school, and the costs over the last 10 years. It's an interesting statistic. So have a great day. Take care. Bye.